Oh. 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 I, the pure consciousness or the sense of self-awareness, is performing the guided meditation maybe. I, the pure consciousness or the sense of self-awareness, during this meditation may be manifesting the words of truth and wisdom for the guideline to my for the guideline to my followers after I shed the body. I, the pure consciousness or the sense of self-awareness, emerging through this finite mind and through this finite body. My words of I, the pure consciousness, states that my words of truth and my words of wisdom would guide you. When you get overwhelmed by this carnation, when you get overwhelmed by this carnation, my words of truth and my words of wisdom would guide you. When you get overwhelmed, when you get overwhelmed by the life, when you get overwhelmed, when you get overwhelmed by the thoughts, when you get overwhelmed by your own thoughts, by everything that you know, by everything that you have perceived so far, the whole edifice of knowledge. When you get overwhelmed by the objects around you, you get so fascinated with the objects around you. You get overwhelmed by them. You get overwhelmed by the objects around you. You get overwhelmed by the people around you. But if you see the life through my eyes, you realize it's very simple and there is no fear, you see. Because real you was never born. Because a real you was never born. And a real you, since it is not subject to birth, you remember the word birth? Since it's not subject to birth, it is not subject to bodily demise. The real you was never born, and real you, since it was not born, it's impossible for it to die. Something which is never born cannot die, you see. So fear not. Just try to manage your energy with time. Life, as you know, in the carnation, the notch between the birth and the notch between the birth and death or bodily demise. As you know, pure consciousness is reluctant. Pure consciousness is hesitant to use the word death because there is no such thing. Is there such thing as bodily demise? The demise of accumulation. Accumulation is what you have borrowed from the planet, what you understand as your body. You are using the body, but you cannot be the body. You see, you are using you are using the body, but you cannot be the body. Just like when you drive a car, are you understanding? Just like when you drive a car, you don't turn into one, if you understand. Just like just like when you just like when you drive a car, you do not turn into one. Are you following me? You remain yourself, and your car remains the car. Just like when you drive a car, you do not turn into one. You remain you, and your car remains a car. Just like that, you are not your body. If you are using the body, the accumulation, it does not mean that you turn into the body. You see, you do not turn into the body. You remain what you are. The sense of self-awareness and the sense of pure consciousness. You remain what you are. The sense of self-awareness, Chit, consciousness, Paramatma, Sakshi, all these words from Sanskrit. It all indicates or points out to pure awareness and pure consciousness, the one which cannot be seen, the one which cannot be felt, the one which cannot be smelled. If I ask you a question during this meditation, if I ask you a question during this meditation, as I am about to, the one which has no smell, you like to sniff, don't you? I'm just kidding. The one which has no smell, the one which has no color, the one which has no boundary. This is the question, so pay attention to my words during this meditation as you hear the sound of my voice. The one which has no smell, the one which has no boundaries. Are you following? The one which has no smell, the one which has no boundaries, the one which has no physicality attached. You see, the one which has no physicality attached, the one which has no face, the one which cannot be even felt, not even like a wave, which disappears in a space very quickly, not even like a wave, not even like a vapor, not any of that, not even like a space. You see, if I say, what is that, you would answer nothing. Wouldn't you answer nothing? If I ask you, if I ask you what is that, the adjectives, all the traits that I have just defined, if I ask you what is that, that yes, this body, this accumulation has just defined, the one which has no features, no adjectives, no attributes, no physicality, what is that? You would say nothing. And your answer is right. The one who is looking for themselves outside of themselves cannot find it, not in the substances, not in the alcohol, not in the addictions, not in sex, not in relationships, not in friendships, not in job, not in traveling, not partying every day. One has tried all that. One, it could be anyone. One has tried all that, you see, but one has not got the satisfaction. But the one still keep trying to try different and different addictions, trying to get a different kind of reaction by repeating, trying to get a different kind of reaction by repeating herself or himself, trying to get a different type of response. It would never happen, because the one who is looking for that fulfillment, that concrete sense of happiness that cannot be taken away by any atrocity, by any chaos, by any war. You see, that concrete self, the concrete sense of fulfillment, the concrete sense of self awareness is the one who is looking for herself or himself outside in addiction. Once you realize fully, once you realize profoundly, not through the thinking mind, not through the logic, not through your human intellect or your ego, but through the awareness that you have become now self-aware. Once you realize that, you start understanding the mysteries of life, you start understanding the mysteries of nature. It gives you power. Power you would encompass that cannot be seen through the naked eye. The yogi, the meditator, the swami, the rishi, the power they encompass, the power they encompass cannot be seen through the naked eye, but they encompass tremendous, but they encompass tremendous amount of power because of their dedication towards their practice. Gaining power also is not the goal. Gaining power also is not the destiny. Gaining power also is not the motivation. Motivation is just to know yourself. The one who knows themselves knows God, Jesus Christ. You understand? Lord Jesus Christ, the great mystic and a beautiful human being, said, the one who understand themselves understand God. So understanding of God is hidden to understand yourself. Remember that. The one who is looking outside wouldn't find what they are looking for. Once you realize it's within, then you turn all the focus within through meditation and through Kriya meditation on the top of everything. Do you understand my words? I would give you an example to elaborate what I am saying. There is a story, there is a story in ancient India. A fish who is a baby fish, a fish who is a baby fish, a fish who is a baby fish is in a pond, or rather in an ocean. If baby fish in the ocean, I hope you are portraying the picture in your awareness. Baby fish in the ocean looks at mum fish. Baby fish in the ocean looks at mum fish, the mother fish. And baby fish asks the mother, Mother, I want to see ocean. I want to see ocean. And the mother replies, Sweetheart, you are in the ocean. The one you are already in, you cannot understand through human intellect. The one you are already in, that you cannot understand through the human intellect, through your ego. You have, through your thoughts and through your mind, you can be a genius like Albert Einstein. But these fundamentals of life, these fundamentals, these fundamentals of life, these fundamentals of yourself cannot be figured out even with the intellect of Albert Einstein. That is one of the main reasons Albert Einstein lost the arguments with Rabindranath Tagore. You have heard of Rabindranath Tagore, the poet from India. He won the arguments and Albert Einstein lost. You know how and why? Because his focus was extremely concrete. His focus was piercing. If you understand what I'm saying to you, his focus was piercing. I'm talking about Rabindranath Tagore. So remember the answer of motherfish, that if you cannot see the ocean because you are in the ocean itself, you see, just like that, you cannot see, feel, or objectify what you essentially are. Do you understand? Just like that, you cannot feel, see, smell, or objectify what you essentially are. You understand? You cannot understand by touching it, which is the sense, which is the sense of self-awareness, which is the sense of pure consciousness. It has no objectivity attached to it. It always has, and it always will be. You are always, you see, you are always, you always have, you always will be. However, manage, as I said a few minutes back, learn to manage your energy. Learn to manage your energy with time. Once you master that, life becomes extremely easy for you. You understand? Once you master that, life becomes extremely easy for you. Fear not, humans. Fear not, my followers. Fear not. You become scared. Fear not, humans. Fear not, my followers. Fear not, my listener. You become scared. I'm saying if, I'm saying if you become scared. If you understand what I'm saying to you, if you become scared, it's no good for you. If you become scared, if God forbid me, of anything, it doesn't matter, I'm saying hypothetically, if you have fear in you, if you become scared of anything, it's no good for you. Once you realize yourself that what you essentially are, you do not get scared. Once you realize yourself what you essentially are, you do not get scared, you see, then there remains no fear in you. Because, excuse me, because you can see, because you can see life, because you can see life beyond the barriers, because you can see life beyond the barriers of physicality. The rishis, the sages. Have you heard the term sages? Do you know what that is? The rishis. The rishis, the sages in ancient India, if you understand what I'm saying. The rishis, the sages in ancient India. The rishis and the sages in ancient India. Through the concrete focus, the rishis and the sages in ancient India, through the concrete focus within, through the concrete focus inwards, through the personal observation, series of personal observations, series of spiritual practices. That's also we understand as Hinduism, not a religion, but a series of spiritual practices. Through the sages and the rishis, through the observation, internal observation, they came to realize life in human form is basically dealing with three stages. One is waking state, as we are in here right now. The second is dreaming state. It means when you sleep. And the third is dreamless state. When you wake up from the dreamless state and somebody asks you, how was the sleep? And you say, I slept like a log. You say, I slept like a log. I cannot remember. You see the word remember again. I always remind you to remember the word remember. You say, I slept like a log. I cannot remember anything. You see, are you following the sound of my voice during this meditation while I'm pouring out wisdom for you to liberate you? I am liberating you. The sages, the rishis, the sages in ancient India, through the personal and internal observation, came to came to realize the life in the human form. The life in the human form deals with three type of stages. The waking state. You understand? Life in human form deals with three different type of stages over and over till the carnation is over, if you understand. One is waking state in which you are now, listening to the sound of my voice, looking at me, looking at my body, and listening to the sound of my voice. And you are present also. You see, that is waking state. When your senses, your five senses are alert and you are accumulating the data, that is waking state. When you're outbound, all five senses, you see, all five senses, all of them, five senses outbound, you see. When all your five senses, all your outbound five senses are alert, waking state, you are perceiving. The second stage, the rishis and the sages stated, is the dreaming state. It is when you go to sleep, you see. It is when you go to sleep. Now that is the dreaming state. In this state, people, in this state, my loved ones, in this state, my followers or seers, all the five bound senses fall back and they are closed. And the memory, the five bound senses are closed. They are resting. They are tired of perceiving the data. And the memory, everything, it just starts. The awareness, memory, karma is also the mode of awareness. Memory, karma is also the mode of consciousness. Then your five outbound senses, they fall back, they are closed. The memory, the karma, the modes of self-awareness or consciousness now comes into play in the dreaming state. You understand? In the dreaming state. Then the third state, which is dreamless state. If you understand, then the third state, sages came to realize, is the dreamless state. This is the state I told you a few minutes back when somebody asked you, how was your sleep or how did you sleep? And your answer is, I slept like a log or I cannot remember anything. You understand? If you cannot remember anything, you slept like a log, then there is just darkness. That now what happens? The awareness in this state when you sleep like a log. Safe travels, safe journey from the bottom of my heart. Anyway, in the dreamless state, which is in the dreamless state, which is rather blankness or emptiness, you don't remember nothing. In this third stage, stages came to realize and stated the five senses not only fall back, but the awareness itself is resting. You understand? The five senses, not only those have fallen back, have fallen back, but also the awareness is resting. This is an experience of nirvana, that you don't remember anything, nothing, not even memory or karma. Extreme state of ecstasy, an extreme state of bliss. You understand? You don't remember nothing. Nothing you don't remember. But remember something. Who is the one who is saying, I don't remember even that moment in time? I hope you understand that. Who is the one? Who is the one who is saying, I do not remember? You see, in the third and the most advanced, in the third and the most advanced stage of sleep, the dreamless state, blankness, emptiness, ecstasy, bliss, nirvana. No memory is in play, no karma is in play, no awareness is in play, no senses is in play. You see, but the emptiness, the blankness, there has to be something more than emptiness or blankness which observes that there was nothing. You see, otherwise you cannot accomplish nothing. There has to be something more than above and over. I hope you understand what I'm saying to you fully. It's very significant, very dire for you to understand, very dire and very significant, very important. It's not nothing. The dreamless state is the absence. I'm saying it in other words now to make you understand a little more clear. Nothing, blankness, emptiness, the dreamless state is not the absent of experience, but the absent of experience itself. Now that sinks within you, and I know it. Now you understand. It's the absence of experience itself, but not the one who is experiencing it. Because the one who is experiencing it is now experiencing nothingness. You understand what I'm saying to you? The one who is experiencing it is the one who is experiencing nothingness, emptiness. Otherwise, you cannot state it's nothing. There has to be something to witness that nothingness. That is real. That is real you, your fundamental state. So I got you in touch in this meditation with your fundamental state. Meditate on the sound of my voice. You see, watch this meditation over and over. Meditate to the sound of my voice. If you have questions, you can always ask me. You know that, right? You know that by now. Let's meditate. Excuse me.